Now that we've got our meatballs in the oven, we're gonna go ahead and make our marinara. Now, I know a lot of people are very intimidated to make their own marinara, but making your own marinara is so easy and it's so much better for you and it tastes so much better than the canned stuff. It's also a lot cheaper. The canned stuff is loaded with a lot of extra preservatives and different things like that, a lot of salt, and here you can control all of that, and that's why we really like to make our own marinara. It's really very easy to do and you just need a few ingredients, and now I'm gonna show you how to make that. The first step you're going to need to do to make your marinara is start off with a pan, and it's set to medium-high heat. And again, we're using our pan that we used to saute off our meatballs because it's got so much great flavor already in the pan. So I'm going to cut my onions, and I've got yellow onions that I'm going to cut up here. And I like yellow onions because they're naturally sweeter than white. However, if you only have white onions or red onions, then go ahead and use those too. I think either one would be just fine. And what I'm doing is I cut off the ends of either onion and I'm removing the skin. The skin is inedible, so you want to make sure that you completely remove that. And I cut it in half down the center of the root. And the reason we do that is so that it holds together the onion. And you'll see what I mean whenever we cut that. So all I'm going to do is I've got my half of onion that's been cleaned. Here's our root end here. And I'm just going to make slices through. Get that skin off there, through the onion here. And the wider you make your slices, the bigger your pieces are going to be. Now I'm going to slice down the onion here, and again, same thing, the wider your slices, the bigger your pieces will be. And then I'm going to slice down and cut my onion. And you see I've got perfect little squares of onion. And you see that root end really held our onion together as we sliced it. Okay, I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to go ahead and slice the other half of my onion. I'm going to make long cuts. And another thing is whenever you're making your cuts, don't cut all the way to the root end, because again, that's holding it together. If you cut all the way through, it won't hold your piece of onion together. And if you have a little piece here, go ahead and slice it up. You don't want to waste it. And we'll add all of this to our pan. I'm going to turn on the heat just a little bit more. Oh, that's good. Okay. And while those are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and do my garlic. And you don't want to add your garlic in at the same time as your onion because they cook at different rates. And the garlic is more likely to burn. So I'm just going to take my cloves of garlic and I'm going to remove the very top stem of the garlic because that's inedible. Set that aside. And I'm just going to run my knife through the garlic. Now once I've done that, I'm going to run my knife through the garlic again. And I'm just going to get these pieces of garlic a little bit smaller. They don't have to be perfect, but you want them small enough to where someone's not going to bite down on a big clove of garlic while they're eating their marinara sauce. And another key is whenever you make your marinara, don't hesitate to make extra and put it in a can or container and save it for later. It's good for about 4 or 5 days in the refrigerator. Now I'm going to add my garlic and let that cook for a few minutes.